Welcome to Simsbury's Wreath Across America ceremony. The Abigail Phelps Chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution is honored to conduct this ceremony, assisted by American Legion Post 84 and the Veterans of Foreign War Post 1926. Due to their vision, dedication, and many years of hard work, the Simsbury Veterans Memorial graces our main street to honor all of our veterans. After this service, the 7 wreaths representing the branches of the military will be placed at the memorial in honor of the veterans. The mission of Wreaths Across America is to remember the fallen, honor those who have served or are currently serving their families, and teach our children about the sacrifices made to preserve our freedom. We place these wreaths to remember our local veterans with respect and gratitude. As each wreath is placed, the name of the veteran will be spoken. These are men and women who left their homes, their safety, and their comfort to place themselves on the battlefields in order that freedom would continue to thrive and flourish. These are men and women who asked what they could do for their country. Men and women who, when called, answered with enthusiasm, and, like their brothers and sisters at Lexington and Concord, did not ask if it was going to be easy. They gave of themselves in the belief they were defending liberty. These are the men and women whom we honor on this special day. As they have honored us through their service and devotion, let us honor them in our thoughts and prayers and hearts, today and throughout all of our free tomorrows. Let us observe a moment of silence in remembrance of the fallen, the prisoners of war, the missing in action, and all those who have sacrificed so much in service to our country. The color guard will now post the colors.
Detail. Halt. Lift. Face. Order. Arm. Correct. Rest.
Emily Steele will lead us in the singing of the national anthem.
Present. Arm.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
Thank you, Emily. We are privileged to have some community leaders with us today. Our first selectman, Eric Wellman, will share some thoughts with us. Podium for you.
Thank you, and it is afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I understand that on this day has a tradition of sometimes being colder, so we're blessed with good weather today. I want to thank the Daughters of the American Revolution. I want to thank everybody who contributed a wreath to this wonderful cause. I'd like to thank the other members of the Board of Selectmen who are here, Chris Kelly and Cheryl Cook. And as I was reflecting on what I was going to say, I was thinking about this spot where we're standing. And when you go over the hill, I always love that view because for just a split second, I think you can see Simsbury as people have always seen Simsbury. Back to 1670, when our town was first founded, when you think about it, the history of our town is longer and greater than the history of our entire country. And the people that we honor today are a critical part of that history. So when you go over that hill, you see for just a moment the ridge, the river, and the town. And of course, the streets are paved, there are utility poles, there are new buildings that are different, but for just a split second you can see our town as the people who came before us saw our town. And it makes me realize that the people who left Simsbury to fight for our country, I think about the emotions that they had. Were they similar to the emotions our young people have when they leave Simsbury? I imagine there was a sense of fear, a sense of adventure, a sense of trepidation. But I think that when you take that moment and realize that the things that they experienced in our town, that view of the ridge is the same ridge that we love, that river is the same river that we love, the places where we worship are some of the same places that they worshiped, and we feel closer to them at this time. Again, I thank the Daughters of the American Revolution for this event. I thank everyone who purchased a wreath, and I appreciate you having me here today to say a few words on behalf of the town.
Thank you, Eric. Now I would like to introduce our state representative, John Hampton.
Good afternoon. It is an honor and privilege to address you today at Wreaths Across America ceremony. We are gathered as one community and one nation to remember, honor, and teach. I am humbled to be in the presence of veterans and their families, true 21st century patriots. Thank you for your service and the sacrifice you and your loved ones have made to keep America free and preserve our way of life. Lying here before us and behind us in the cemeteries throughout this nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We thank those who gave their lives to keep us free, and we shall not forget you. Our fathers and our sons and daughters and brothers and sisters who did not return alive have bequeathed to us a heritage of duty, forged in a terrible heat of battle. We speak of honoring these soldiers who have answered their last muster. And today's Wreaths Across America ceremony is one of a series of events which keeps the history of the past alive in the present. And just as a soldier owes a duty of God and country, the victory brought about the devotion of duty of these soldiers imposes a like duty on us, who are so fortunate to not have a bullet with our name on it. If we perform our duty well, we have truly honored and preserved the memories of those of whom we speak. If we fail, however, we have failed to honor and preserve the memory of those dead. Thanksgiving was a day when we paused to give thanks for the things that we have. This day is a day when we pause to give thanks to the people who fought for the things we have. Our fallen and their families are real American idols. They taught us in the world the meaning of duty, honor, courage, and commitment. They fought for the security of this great nation, for their safety of their friends, and for world peace. They humbled tyrants and defended the innocent and liberated the oppressed. At their finest hour, these Americans treated their vanquished with magnanimity. For these Americans will be remembered until the last generation. And across the earth, you will find entire nations that once lived in fear, where men and women still talk of the day where Americans came at a great price and set them free. It was through their selfless death that brought new life to future generations. And this day is one way to remember those who gave the supreme sacrifice so that we can live free today. We owe the fallen the life we know today. How is it even possible to honor such men and women, both dead and living? Perhaps we should invoke of the words of Stephen Spender with his poem, I think of those who were truly great. Near the snow, near the sun, in the highest fields, see how these names are fetid in the waving grass, and by the streamers of white cloud and whispers of the wind in the listening sky. The names of those who in their lives fought for life, who wore at the hearts the fire's center. Born of the sun, they traveled a short while toward the sun and left the vivid air signed with their honor. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
We will now commence with the laying of the wreaths. Each wreath represents one branch of our military. The United States Army. The United States Marine Corps. The United States Navy. The United States Air Force. The United States Coast Guard. The United States Merchant Marines. The United States Prisoners of War and the Missing in Action. Commander of the Guard, salute the dead.
Detail, stand up. Present. Arm. Parade, prep.
Now I will call upon Reverend George Harris from the First Church of Christ for the blessing of the wreaths.
Let us gather our hearts in prayer. Holy One, gracious and loving God, bless these wreaths just as you bless us to be inspired by all they represent, that we might remember the fallen, that we never forget to honor those that serve and their families, and that we recommit ourselves to teach our young as well as our communities the value and price of freedom. God, we ask for mercy and comfort for the families of those who have known loss and sacrifice. Help us to hear their hearts and share in their sorrows and joys and continue with them in friendship and care. Grant them, Lord, your peace. Lead us and guide us, God. Give us deep and abiding love for you and for our country, which you entrusted to us. To be and to remain a city on a hill, a beacon of light extending across the world with a message of hope and liberty, as we, the citizens, learn to live worthy of the gift of freedom in thought, word, and deed. Give us continued courage, God. Let your light shine in our heart, never extinguish or flicker down, because so much rests on recognizing you as we maintain liberty. The gift of freedom is golden, but its loss would be darkness, bringing despair beyond description. And finally, Holy One, to accomplish your will most efficiently, help us grow in love for each other, in patience and endurance. Help us hold to our faith in you and in knowing what is possible by your mercy and your grace. Be with us as we move forward to fulfill your will today as your people, as American people, this day and every day, with all our soul, with all our heart, and with all our strength, while we yet have breath. God bless us. Keep America safe. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Harris. And now, the Talcott Mountain Highlanders. Thank you. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. Your support is appreciated. The colors will be retired.
Detail, 10 hut. Right shoulder, fire. Right face. Forward, march.
Angie Bautista will assist anyone picking up wreaths in the garage as you leave the cemetery. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.